So I'm sitting here in the office and I'm working on some things, working on some videos, doing some different things. I have a couple DB matches and play a couple rounds, and I thought to myself, I should start writing down interactions that I see people trying to do that you can't do, but it's not a technically like you're cheating. It's that people just forget or don't remember. So I'm here to help you remember a couple small things that you can notice to help you improve your gameplay. Am I the best duelist in the world? No, right? Let's be honest. But if I can help you, provide you some knowledge, provide you some help in your gameplay from what I see personally, I'm here to bring it to you. All we ask for is to make sure and like and subscribe. Gotta throw that in there. But for right now, let's get into some interactions that I see out dueling that can help you catch up and pick up on these things to make sure that you're playing a fair game and that you can catch these different things to make sure that you're improving your gameplay and picking up some more wins. Okay, for our first tip to help you become a better duelist, we're going to use an example, which is using Forbidden Droplet going second to your advantage against a card like Droll and Lockbird. And for our example, we're going to take dragons. I'm also going to do an invoked example. But let's say that you think that your opponent is on Droll and Lockbird, and you have Forbidden Droplet in hand. You go ahead and normal summon Black Metal Dragon. You link it off, go for Striker Dragon, and you're going to go Chainlink 1, Striker, Chainlink 2, Black Metal. So you search your Boot Sector launch, and you search your Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Now your opponent can Droll and Lock you here because it's on the resolution of you searching. However, you have player priority on the resolution. You are first to act. So you don't need to go ahead and shotgun Forbidden Droplet before you do your search. You can get both your searches off, which is your Red Eyes Darkness Metal and Boot Sector launch. And then on the resolution, you have priority to now Forbidden Droplet. Let's just say you send any kind of monster to the grave, and now your opponent cannot respond with monster effects, aka they cannot droll you until the next search that you do. Again, that is because you used Forbidden Droplet, sent a monster on the resolution of your search. You did that, and your opponent cannot respond. And now, because Droll and Lockbird says, if a card is added from the main deck to your opponent's hand, except during the draw phase, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. For the rest of the turn, cards cannot be added. So, on the resolution of the search, you can't respond with monster effects, which means your opponent's Droll and Lockbird cannot be used until your next search. So, that's an example with dragons. Let's use the example with invoked. Same theory. So you have your invocation, meltdown, and Alistair. So you go ahead and you activate Magical Meltdown. Meltdown search Alistair. And before you even want to do this, you can say, on resolution, I'm going to now Droplet. Obviously, you would want to send another monster from your hand. Let's just hypothetically say whatever it may be. So you send a monster. Your opponent cannot respond with Droll and Lockbird. Now you can Alistair, search your invocation, and now you'll have this, which you've already sent. You're able to get your Alistair and your invocation, and now your opponent can go ahead and droll you if they want, but you still got your engine rolling. So that is the example with Droll and Lockbird and Forbidden Droplet and that interaction, and how to kind of beat that and get more pluses off your searches before you get locked out by Droll. Next example I want to go into is the example with Alistair. So this has actually come up where Alistair has actually been Forbidden Chaliced, okay? So you go ahead and normal summon Alistair effect, they chalice you. Now, when they chalice you, this card is negated, but as well, it gains 400 attack. So you cannot link off Alistair for the Almirage because Almirage says one normal summon monster with 1,000 or less attack. Alistair will now have 1,400 attack, and you cannot go into Almirage with the Alistair because it had been chaliced and it gains 400 attack. So that is the example there that I wanted to give that I've seen. The next effect is going to be with the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. So a lot of people forget that this has multiple effects. One being that your opponent's monsters lose 400 attack for every hero in your graveyard. So make sure when you're attacking another monster with this card, you're applying the 400 less attack on your opponent's end. As well as, I want to mention, say that this card goes to grave, you activate effect to summon back, and that resolves. Then they not call by, but they Diddy Crow it or they Wakero it and they banish it. on the next turn on standby, you have to summon one of these two back. So you have to bring out your Dasher or your Celestial, which could interfere with your Celestial draw 2. So make sure if this effect resolved in the grave with Phoenix Enforcer, that on the standby phase, even if this card is banished, unless it was called by or whatever, you have to go ahead and bring back one of your heroes from the grave. It is a mandatory. So that is that example. The next example involves Phoenix Enforcer resolving standby phase summoning back. And this is going to be on your opponent's field or your field. And then we're going to talk about Ecclesia and Fleur-de-Lis. So Ecclesia and Fleur-de-Lis specifically say that if a monster is special summoned from the extra deck is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. Both have that effect. When Phoenix Enforcer is summoned, it is summoned from the graveyard, not from the extra deck. So you actually can't summon these cards if only Enforcer is on the field, because this was summoned from the graveyard on the effect, not from the extra deck. Same sense if you're playing Invoked and you're going first, you set up DPE, make sure to use the effect, then summon it back, because that is now being summoned from the graveyard, not from the extra deck. So little examples like that with those cards. One small interaction that I just wanted to bring up with you is, let's say that you have Downward Zeus, your opponent talents takes your Zeus, okay? You have one material. They can overlay their own Zeus on top of your Zeus and keep it with two materials, giving them their own search. The materials do not go back to you, so you can actually keep their Zeus, overlay your own Zeus as long as it battled. You can overlay your own Zeus on top of their Zeus and keep it for an extra send. That involves talents. And then a couple more things is obviously Pac was kind of the big guy to kind of explain this one, but the example, and you can see it in my last duel that I did. So let's say that we have Red Eyes Darkness Metal and we have Phoenix Enforcer, and Darkness Metal is attacking into the Phoenix Enforcer. On damage step, you can activate Droplet and they can't respond with anything unless that it is involving a shift in your attack or defense. So unless it changes the stats of the attack or defense, you can't respond in damage step of this. And then with that being said, you could Chalice to gain 400 because that does change stats, right? But Droplet, you can definitely go ahead and drop this in damage step. This would go ahead and attack. It would be down to 14. This is at 25 unless you have heroes, right? And this would go ahead and be beat over. And that's how I beat Dinos, beat a UCT that way, which damage step, Droplet, and beat over the UTC. Let me see here what else we got. So one more thing. Let's say you have a Scarlet set and you have revealed your Heavenly Prison in your hand. Keep in mind, if you've gone through some traps and you still have Heavenly Prison revealed, you activate Scarlet. This triggers on resolution of a trap. So if you activate Scarlet to summon a Eldlich, you are now locked into zombies. You cannot summon Heavenly Prison at that point. So you cannot trigger Heavenly Prison's effect to summon on the resolution of Scarlet. And the reason why is Scarlet brings out Lord. You are now locked into zombies, and that is one of the conditions of Scarlet. And this effect, Heavenly Prison, triggers on the resolution of a trap activating, meaning you cannot summon it because you are locked into zombies. One more interaction which I've seen, so I just want to make sure everybody's clear on, is access code. So when access code is summoned, it gains the attack. You can't respond to that. And then when it decides to banish a link monster from grave to pop a card, you can't respond to that. However, on the resolution of access code gaining attack, you can impermanent Veiler this card. So there is a time where there is a resolution period. Your opponent has priority, they do nothing. You can imperm this card, negate its effects. It goes back down to 2300 attack and it cannot pop because it is now negated. And that's how you get around access code that way. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I tried to provide a couple interactions I've just seen dueling, and wanted to help you out, kind of keep you in mind, help you become a better duelist. And if there's anything else that I can think of that you can help with, I'll definitely provide. So if this has been impactful, I appreciate it, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. And let me know some other interactions that you may have seen that can help somebody else become a better duelist that maybe we can feature on our channel. I would appreciate that, guys. So it's been Tyler, House of Cards, TCG, helping everyone be a better duelist. And I'll catch you on the next video.